Subsidiary and/or branch companies that control multiple legal business entities need a solution to consolidate and centralize their business information. A centralized payment process allows organizations to minimize fees and risks, cross-currency exposure and transactions, and also increases visibility and control across the enterprise. Let's see how the intercompany integration solution for SAP Business One allows the delegation of vendor invoices for payment to another branch company, allowing for centralized payment processing to external vendors. OEC Computers have a number of affiliated branches across Germany, with headquarters in Berlin. Within the OEC group, all invoices across the branches are paid by the headquarters in Berlin. Jason Butler from OEC Frankfurt branch receives a number of computer monitors from their supplier and delegates the payment to OEC headquarters in Berlin. Jason has already created a goods receipt purchase order for these monitors. Firstly, Jason is going to navigate to the purchasing menu and he's going to open up the goods receipt purchase order that he created when he received the 20 19-inch computer monitors from his vendor, Computer Imports. Jason is now going to create an AP invoice from this goods receipt purchase order. And we're now going to add the invoice to the system. By navigating to Outgoing Payments under Banking, and selecting the vendor Computer Imports, we can see a list of outstanding payments. We are going to select the payment for the invoice that we just created. We are now going to choose a company to delegate the payment to by selecting a delegation company. By pressing the Tab button, a list of companies that you can delegate this payment to is presented. We are going to delegate this payment to the head office in Berlin. Now we have defined the delegation company, we can delegate the payment by simply clicking the Delegate button. We then receive a system message indicating that delegation entries were created successfully for this particular payment. Back at headquarters in Berlin, Emily Irwin from the Accounts Department is now going to navigate to Outgoing Payments under the Banking module. She's then going to select the vendor Computer Imports, and if we scroll down to the end of the list, we can see the relevant payment that we have just delegated from OEC Frankfurt. If we select this payment and drill down into the payment, we can see the actual journal entry for this delegation instead of the AP invoice. This journal entry confirms that the payment has been booked at headquarters in Berlin. By selecting the Intercompany Details tab, we can also see the delegation reference number, and we can see where the delegation came from, which is Branch 1, which refers to OEC Frankfurt. Emily would now like to process the payment by going to the Payment Means menu, selecting the appropriate General Ledger account, and by selecting Control B, we can copy the exact total from the overall amount field into the total field. Now we can click OK and add this payment to the system. If we navigate back to the outgoing payment that we just created, we can see that this centralized payment has now been paid by headquarters in Berlin. This centralized payment process allows OEC computers to ultimately save costs and have better control over expenses, with the ability to consolidate and centralize business information using the intercompany integration for SAP Business One.